Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
What do you do if you have a small home but you want it to look amazing? I'm Victoria Lee from Light Home, and this week we continue our series on big ideas for small spaces. I go on site to visit Anna Huppauf, an architect who not only specialises in making tight spaces come alive, she loves it. It's one of the great challenges of inner city architecture, renovating a small space. Today I'm here with someone who not only says she loves it, but is a specialist in inner city renovation of big ideas for small spaces. Hi, I'm here today with Anna Huppauf of Huppauf Chesterman Architects. Anna, you actually say you love working with limited budgets and small spaces in inner city terrace areas. What's going on with that?
Well, there's a certain challenge in having restrictions, and I think restrictions bring out the best in opportunities. There's always the challenge of light and ventilation, heritage aspects, and storage is a big one in any of these small houses, and of course people's budgets and wish lists.
And one of the great challenges is getting the budgets and the wish lists to come together, I imagine.
To merge together, and if not, then sensible compromises need to be made.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. Now we're here today in one of your own projects that you're working on at the moment. We're in Camperdown in inner city Sydney, a road which is entirely heritage listed. Tell me a bit about the site and the brief you were given by your clients here.
Well, the terrace is on a corner, and the house itself isn't heritage listed, but the entire row of terraces is heritage listed. The challenge with anything that has to do with heritage is the council, and making sure that what you propose fits in with the council guidelines and that it respects the heritage, so that the new space is always contrasting the old, so that you're never trying to mimic the heritage, that you're clearly defining that what you're proposing is a new space.
Fantastic. And of course the space you've got here is small. I understand it's roughly 90 square metres, 18 metres in length and about 3 across.
It's 3.5 across and 18.5 long. So yes, a very small, tight site.
And tell me what it was before. 2 bedrooms, was it?
It was 2 bedrooms with a very small bathroom downstairs and a little galley kitchen with a living room at the front.
And what have you now turned it into?
We've essentially turned it into a 3-bedroom house, which retains the front living room, and then you walk through into a new dining, kitchen, living area towards the back, which is opened up to the very small courtyard to the rear. Then the trick was relocating the stair. The stair originally went through the centre of the house, and by relocating it to the side wall meant that we were able to open the site up a lot more and to be able to utilise the attic space.
Brilliant. And you've also put 2 bedrooms in on the middle floor and a larger bathroom?
That's right. So the first floor now has a big bedroom to the rear and the original bedroom to the front, with a bathroom which has now gone into where the existing 2nd bedroom was.
And finally upstairs?
Another bedroom upstairs.
Fantastic. Now you talked about, with heritage, a lot of the consideration is they don't want you to echo the original heritage, they want you to contrast it. Is that what you said? Explain to us a little bit about that and what you did here.
One of the main challenges is always that you want to be able to define at what point through history something was added on. So you want the old to remain old, you want it to be able to read as it was built in 1885, that it retains its character, and that the new is clearly defined as being built in 2013 rather than in 18 or 1900. So the new is meant to contrast the old but complement it at the same time, so that you don't copy all of the little details that are found in traditional terrace houses.
Brilliant. So from the front, all you see is an old-fashioned heritage terrace, but from the side, because it's a corner block, you see at the side of the terrace first, and then this modern box at the back. But you've used, quite cleverly, you've used some materials to do that echo the original building, and also lots of windows and light.
So we're using Sky-On panels, and we wanted to use the lightweight cladding partly due to the fact that you gain space. But if you had gone with traditional brick veneer or double brick, you would lose a lot of space on a very small site. So we've opted to go for the panels, plus it is the modern interpretation of the weatherboard essentially. So it allows flexibility, it gives you the fire rating, and it beautifully gives you that vertical proportion. We've put in some horizontal slot windows both on the ground floor and on the first floor so that you get some of that eastern light without a lot of the heat gain. And then the rear of the site is faces north, so we've gone for the very vertical, which is a traditional proportion of the window, the terrace house window as well, so we've gone for that towards the rear.
And why the horizontal window?
It gives you a lot of light without having to have huge awnings or sun shading over it.
Fantastic, and it also gives privacy as well because it's quite high up.
It's quite high up, yeah.
Okay. Just thinking about for people who do have or are looking to buy, you know, an inner city terrace and thinking of renovating, adding in that extra room, going up in the attic, getting in light, what are your kind of the tips that you look for, that you might give somebody else, or that you always look for in deciding whether you take on a project?
It's partly a realistic budget, and the problem with these small terrace houses or any terrace house is that they're a can of worms. So you never really know what is expected until you actually start construction, and you have to be able to you know, work with the fact that there might be some unknowns. That I know that in this place the wall that we assumed was plumb or that was structurally supporting wasn't, and you just have to run with the flow as it is on site.
Why do you love it? Why do you love these projects? Why is that what you specialise in?
It's a challenge, it's interesting, and I love taking every little nook and cranny and making sure that every space is utilised and that you get the best out of what you have. A lot of people don't want to move into the outer suburbs and have the big house and the quarter-acre block and the big backyard. They want to live in the inner city because it is sustainable and you're close to public transport and to the hospitals and to schools, and you need to be able to take the small spaces and turn them into bigger spaces so that they, work for the growing family and for, to future-proof them essentially.
And it can all be done with planning and patience on site?
Most things can be done. I think if you have a realistic idea of what you want and your wish list isn't inflexible, then most things can be achieved. For example, here there was the want for 2 bathrooms, and we went through many design processes of trying to get in a second bathroom, and in the end the compromise was we would rather have the additional space in the downstairs kitchen area than try and box it in and compartmentalise the kitchen away from the dining, just so that we could get in a separate toilet.
Brilliant. Anna Huppauf, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.